The most interesting part about working with Scoby, it's a live culture. It is so unpredictable to work with because there's so many things can affect it, like weather, like the seasons, humid, and also your mood, emotions. But that's also the part I really enjoy because it is a mirror for me to see the reflection of universal forces in that moment when I'm working with something. The idea of using the Scoby came to me with the mirrors. That was an old car mirror. I like how it reflects the light. And every 2 months, 3 months, I check with the Scoby brewery we have in Tofino. After I get the Scobies from them, I make my own solution to keep the Scobies fresh because over time Scobies get old and then they are more brittle. If I treat them, they can get more stronger, flexible, more leather-like effect. Meanwhile, until I finish them, I will have some little pieces growing in my buckets, which will help me to make more arts because for the leather I don't really need thick pieces, but for making art stuff I don't need really thick pieces, so I like to use the pieces I got from the Scoby mostly for making leather hats or masks. If I'm combining with fabric or glass pieces, mirror pieces, I can just use the pieces grow in my buckets meanwhile. And then I let them sit in the buckets with the solution I made around 10 days before I start using in Scobies. And after 10 days, if I need to make a sting, if I have order or if I have a project in my mind waiting for me, I will take out my Scobies from the buckets and lay them on top of the cardboards. In that point, I don't need to run a heater because cardboards, like, you'll just suck the water. I need to change the cardboard once in a day at least, and the Scobies will start drying easily. If I run the heater, it is faster, but because cardboards, like, if I change the cardboards regularly, I can just like make it energy efficient. It takes like, it depends if I'm running the heater with the cardboards, it's possibly like 4 days. And the Scobies will be ready. If I'm not running the heater, it's just maybe like 2 more days. And then when they are ready to lay down on the molds or do some art, the next thing I do is, before starting it, again boiling in them in this solution. Sometimes I boil them in coffee grounds, sometimes it depends. Like, the coffee grounds give me a really nice texture, but if I want to make a light color hat, or if I want to dye a head, like if I'm making a colored head with the plant-based colors, then coffee grounds is just making it like really dark. I can't see any color on it. So in that time, like, I just boil it in borax and citric acid, which helps me to keep the mold and bugs away from Scoby. And if I want to color a Scoby, I mostly make a bucket with the color. Sometimes I'm using herbs. Indigo is one of the herbs I like to use because I like to add ocean waves in my design, which is like indigo gives a really nice color when you put the right amount in it. And also I like to use butterfly pea flower. The next thing is tanning the hat. I nurture the Scoby, dry Scoby, because when you first dry, it needs a little bit softening still. I make my own tanning balms with some beeswax and some oils and stuff. I used to make my own pine pinch, like evergreen pinch solution myself. for tanning too. But now I find this biodegradable varnish from an eco-friendly paint manufacturer, natural earth paints. And then I mix it with my beeswax balm, and also I have another biodegradable wax medium from another company, which is the Rubu colors. I mixed all those three to tan my heads to give them more strength, flexibility, plus high water resistance. I've been using this hat for like around 2 years, summer and winter and rainy days. Still solid hat because that creates a nice layer of coating. It can still get wet, but it gives a high resistance. It won't get soggy. If I won't use those tannings and coating. Scoby gets wet easily and gets soggy, lose the shape with water. But with those stuff, it can keep the shape. And then the next, I start decorating them. Sometimes I paint them, sometimes I mix it with fabrics. Because I'm not growing the Scoby myself. The Scobies I'm using is not like has a stable thickness, and so sometimes, and then they shrink a lot. They change attitude when they are drying a lot. Sometimes when you got the hat dry, you can have holes, and or like some thinner spots. It will be really easy to damage, or it will actually take away the strength from the hat itself, the last product itself. So for prevent that, I can actually combine it with the fiber and the acrylic paint medium patches. And then it will give me extra strength. Then I decorate them. It is a light material. It is really hard to be able to get a symmetric solution out of it. This is why smart decorating, to make something look beautiful. I like to use feathers and shells in decorating my pieces a lot. Also, the fibers I use is actually most of the time recycled fibers, silk pieces. Actually, I made a trade with a friend of mine who has a bunch of the silk pieces left behind another person after their passing away. I decided to make a hat for him for the silk pieces, and so I can use them as the head linings. If I can't use recycled material or recreated material in my design, I use organic or sustainably produced products. This lace is organic cotton. This is organic cotton. Yeah, I actually dye them myself with the avocado peel and avocado seeds. That's the seed makes the pink, avocado peel makes the orange. It is hard to find the natural organic fibers. They can advertise everything is natural, but I like to go deep to find out how they produce it, because it is sometimes not the end products is important. It's also how much effect you create when you are actually making the product. I like to check all this information when I'm buying all the other ingredients I need to use for this, for making all this stuff. Most of this art stuff I'm making, paintings, I just let them make. And then it's always something will show up there, and then I will use my imagination. I might add a bed there over here, I have head molds in 2 different styles, in different sizes. I can manipulate and make new head styles by adding cardboards on top of them. For example, this barrette made with actually regular bowler by just putting a cardboard on top of it and adding some stuff on here. Then I can actually create a barrette shape. That's the top hat. I'm making it custom. I made a special head mold with the cardboards on top of the regular bowler style head mold. Like right now, how it looks is way more bigger than it's supposed to, for sure, but it shrinks a lot. I'm just gonna play them around every day, you know, try to make them like shrink and stick each other better. And also when it is shrinking, it gets shorter. Like this is why I play every day to get it straight. They get wavy. If I want to have a straight brim, I need to just check every day, and you need to dry it slower in some points. It's always observation, trying to just live sustainable, and this is something I'm having fun when I am doing this, and I'm just trying to have my life without harming and with less harm when I'm doing all this stuff. We won't see a lot of people trying to do sustainable art, but they try to live like eco-friendly. But when it comes to making arts, it's like those paints and stuff can cause a lot of pollution. This is why I said why I'm not trying to make some art pieces without using any chemical.